One of the things I always find fascinating about golf is how certain rounds don't just move a player up the leaderboard, they completely change the tone of a tournament. And in my opinion, that's exactly what Daniel Berger just did at Bay Hill. Because when a course like Bay Hill, a place many players compare to a mini US Open, suddenly gives up a 63, something special happened. Berger opened the Arnold Palmer Invitational with a stunning 9 under par 63, a round built on precision, discipline, and an incredible ability to capitalize on opportunities. He made 9 birdies and 0 bogeys, and almost all of those birdies came from inside 3 meters, which tells you a lot about how dialed in his approach game was. And before we go deeper into what this performance could mean for the rest of the week, if you enjoy golf coverage that goes beyond the leaderboard and really breaks down what's happening inside these tournaments, make sure to subscribe to Daily Golf News and leave a like on this video. It really helps the channel keep growing and bringing more fan-to-fan analysis like this. Now, back to the story. In my analysis, what makes Berger's round so impressive isn't just the score, it's the context. Bay Hill is one of those courses where scoring can get out of control very quickly. The greens are firm, the rough is thick, and as the week progresses the conditions tend to get even tougher. That's why so many players describe it as having a US Open-like feel. And Berger himself actually leaned into that comparison. He said the course has that same demanding atmosphere where the key is simple but incredibly difficult to execute: hit fairways and convert your chances. And that's exactly what he did. From what we saw in the opening round, Berger wasn't relying on miracle shots or lucky bounces. Most of his birdie opportunities came from excellent positioning and controlled iron play, setting up putts that were very manageable. To me, that's the sign of a player who is completely in control of his round. Meanwhile, several of the biggest names in the field had a much tougher time dealing with Bay Hill. Collin Morikawa finished with a 66 after closing strong with eagle birdie, while Ludvig Åberg matched that number despite playing later in the day when the wind picked up and the greens became even firmer. Scottie Scheffler opened with 70, and Rory McIlroy had a frustrating round of 72, highlighted by a costly double bogey after his ball ricocheted into the water. All of that context makes Berger's 63 stand out even more. Because while the rest of the field was grinding just to stay under par, he separated himself immediately, finishing the day 3 shots clear of the field and nearly 9 shots better than the tournament average score. And honestly, in my opinion, that's the kind of round that can completely change a player's week. Golf tournaments often turn on momentum. When you start with a score like this, you force the rest of the field to chase you, and on a course as demanding as Bay Hill, that pressure can grow very quickly. At the same time, I believe Berger understands something important about this course: it usually gets harder as the week goes on. The greens get firmer, the rough becomes more punishing, and patience becomes just as important as aggression. So the real question now isn't whether Berger can shoot another 63. The real question is whether he can manage the course and protect this lead as conditions become tougher. And that's where the tournament really becomes interesting. Because if he continues to control the ball the way he did in the opening round, this could turn into a serious statement performance at one of the most demanding events on the PGA Tour schedule. But if Bay Hill starts biting back, as it often does, then the chasing pack is more than capable of closing that gap. So now I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think Daniel Berger can hold this lead and turn this incredible opening round into a victory at Bay Hill? Or will the course eventually bring the field back together as the weekend approaches? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoy golf news and analysis from a fan-to-fan perspective, make sure to subscribe to Daily Golf News and leave a like so you don't miss the next breakdown. See you in the next one.